Shakespeare's stories aren't original as you may think. Will Shakespeare drew from a ton of traditional folklore, folk beliefs, and folk tales to create his plays. What makes him so brilliant is how he weaves these stories into his works and makes the ideas his own by remixing them with his own details. The religious institutions of the Elizabethan era were pitted directly against the proliferation of folk knowledge because of its subversive nature. So when Shakespeare incorporated folklore into his works, they blamed the commercial stages for all kinds of blasphemy and even the plague in an attempt to get them closed down. Today, people are remixing and passing folklore along their social networks online, even though the medium of passing down folklore has traditionally been defined as face-to-face. Just as in Shakespeare's day, they're using new mediums to pass on old news and making it their own. Often, folklore is looked down on as the transmission of false information. When verification of facts, glorification of published works, and peer review are so important to us, it is unnerving that anyone, almost anywhere, can pass on information as fact. Information that is unverified, unpublished, unprocessed, the knowledge of the masses, and that folk knowledge is available at a mouse click. Frequently, the academics of higher education are refusing to take part in new knowledge mediums. These academics could be compared to the detractors of Shakespeare's stage. Much of what is said online is blasphemous, subversive, silly, or untrue. But does that sully the mediums by which so much of the world gets their information to the point that if academic knowledge were to join the conversation, it too would be tainted? Or is the fear to participate in online conversations born of the New Age concept of ideas as property? By the way, if Shakespeare wasn't thinking up anything original in the 1500s, perhaps it's time we redefine brilliance. Or is it instead an identity issue? We have none of Shakespeare's personal correspondence and know very little about his personal life, even exactly when and where each of his works were written. I hypothesize that this anonymity is somewhat glorified in our culture. We prefer to hide behind our works and say little about our true opinions. To define our identity by our opinions and a permanent record of what we say is terrifying. Perhaps because we don't really know ourselves.